Malibu Ken.
Yeah, man.
Those nicknames are awesome, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, the Frozen Four is going to be at Mercyhurst next year, so I wouldn't be surprised if there was a lot more events in Pittsburgh in the future. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, that's the of course that's the
Another pleasant encounter.
Yeah, but they're the staff of the Pittsburgh Penguins practice arena, so I don't know if they do anything else. If they're security anywhere else, but they could be. But yeah.
Oh shucks, I was looking forward to seeing Malibu Ken again. It's always such a pleasant encounter with them.
You never know, we might. But yeah.
Great. That's
a good little arena for events, so we could go back for a PWHPA event or something. Who knows? But yeah, so we were talking about Northeastern teams. I said at the beginning there's like a lot to cover, but we've been going off on little tangents. But it's all in good fun. But yeah, I just want to learn more about Maine women's hockey, more about Yale. The only thing I knew about Yale was because of Mandy Schwartz, and of course Jaden Schwartz was on the Blues. And I remember when he got drafted, they were talking about how Mandy Schwartz was battling cancer. So, and I have the Mandy Schwartz Foundation now. So yeah, I know about Yale because of that. But they drafted players like Soroya Tinker. That was who was she drafted? She was drafted by the Riveters. So, there's these more teams I want to try to follow besides just WCHA and CHA. It's just again, the NWHL draft just makes me more intrigued. So that'll be the mission for this year, just to learn about all the other teams. And there's just a lot of Northeastern teams, man. There's so much hockey in the little region. So yeah. But so cool, man. Hopefully the Whale will win an Isabel Cup soon. The Whale did make history by beating the Buffalo Buttes in that qualifier game or that playing game. The Buttes have made it to the Isabel Cup every year before that, and this is the first time the Buttes have been beaten in a quarterfinal or whatever. So the Whale did make history there, and it was kind of like revenge from the first year, because the first year the Whale, the playoff format was best of three, and the Whale would have won if it would have been best of one like it had been in the subsequent years. But yeah, I don't know. The Whale got revenge and made history. So hopefully the Whale will look up and the teams will be more evened out, and we'll just get some great games next year in the NWHL, even without the national team players. Even without the majority of them, let's hope to get some good hockey, man.
Besides the Toronto Six, the Whale are the only team to not win a Isabel Cup.
Yeah, and the Whitecaps won in their first year, so the Toronto Six, they seem like they're building an impressive roster with Shydark and you got Shydark, you got Babstock. I mean, Kelly Babstock lives in Connecticut, and she preferred to play with Toronto, where her family is. So yeah, we'll see what happens with the Six team. It's a good. We got a new Toronto-Boston rivalry in another league, so yeah, that's cool. We're gonna see how that all goes down, but yeah. Is there any significant team I'm missing? I mean, Harvard was cool. You had Emmerich Smashmeyer came from there and stuff like that. I think Michelle Picard played there. I don't know. Harvard, the thing I liked about Harvard was when the Boston Pride played there in their first season, and the games would be on NESN. I don't have access to NESN, but the games were still on YouTube. But I thought it was cool that they were just on TV, and I don't know. I've never was a big fan of the Warrior Ice Arena. When you watch it on a video, because you have the netting there and it distorts. The video quality just looks obstructed because of the netting that's hanging up.
Yeah, it's awkward. Yeah, but like you said, I was watching those replays on NESN, right? Like you said, the netting just obscures everything, and then the format, the whole layout, the whole presentation of those games. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I'm just saying, because those the color commentary and the play-by-play done by those that dynamic duo, they're volunteers, so obviously they're not as seasoned and refined as professional broadcasters, obviously. So it was just weird watching it, and it's obviously the audio quality wasn't the greatest either watching those games on NESN. Yeah. I was watching, I was like, what the hell am I watching? During its inception, what the hell is this,
Well, I mean, the games at Warrior weren't on NESN, were they? Because I know the games at Harvard were. You're talking about Harvard?
Yeah, they showed some games, especially some of the games from the first season of the Pride season as well.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, because I liked what Harvard looked like. It was just a regular Of course, it's a college ice rink, so you didn't have any netting in the way, and I miss watching the games on Harvard, and there were actually Boston Pride season ticket holders that I saw at the Frozen Four in 2017 in St. Louis, and I was talking to them about that, and they were like, "Oh yeah, it was cool when the games were on NESN or whatever, they said that for, I think just because they liked watching him on TV if they weren't out of town. They were season ticket holders, but yeah, I don't know. I do miss that. I wish they still played at Harvard, honestly. But how's the Warrior Ice Arena in person, though? Is it a cool place to see?
It's pretty nice. It's nice. It's clean. Nice cool. Concession stands. They included like a little mini legal seafood outlet there, so like some clam chowder if you're into that. It was pretty cool, man. It's nice. I mean, they finally implemented like a bar over there, like a little mini bar kiosk over there. Because like I remember during season 4, a couple of inebriated middle-aged gentlemen came up to me. He's like, hey, like, sorry, this is my really bad mimic impression of a Boston accent. Like, hey, buddy, you guys got a bar here? And I'm like, sorry, sir, no bar. It's like, no, sir, no bar, sir. Like, what is that? I'm like, hey, man, I'm sorry, I don't work here. I'm just giving you the facts. There's no bar here. This was season 4. This is prior to season 5. No alcohol-free zone. So I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, man.
Right, yeah, and like the Frozen Four in St. Louis was an alcohol-free zone. It's called the Family Arena, so I guess that's why. And the only other time I've been there before was to see, like, me and my brother went to the thing called the Mistletoe Show. It was in December 2014, and you had Gavin McGraw there, 5 for Howling. Kobe,
5 for Fighting?
Or 5 for Fighting, yeah. I think 5 for Howling is like the SB Nation for the Coyote, the Arizona Coyotes, so that's where I get confused, but... Oh yeah, you had a Colby Calais there, and I've always liked her.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then you had the Backstreet Boys there as well, and I wasn't really into watching them dance, but I kind of liked their. I mean, I like the nostalgic songs, but I liked their like acoustic songs too, like or whatever. Like,
all right, let me guess their. Okay, Backstreet Boys. Okay, they're so predictable. Let me guess their playlist. I Want It That Way.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah, sure.
As Long As You Love Me, like those are their staple songs. They have to play those songs.
Yeah, the big songs, but there were songs where they like sat down and played on acoustic guitars, and I think one of them was on the radio for a little bit. And I like that song, but I didn't care to watch the dancing. I mean, the ladies liked it, but not But of course, the big act there was Avril Lavigne, and she was the closing act. Yeah, man. My brother,
Canadian girl.
Yeah, me and my brother were arguing. Like, I was like, Avril Lavigne's going to be the last act. And he's like, no, the Backstreet Boys are going to be the last act. I'm like, no, it's going to be Avery. You know what I'm saying?
Wait. So where was this at?
It was at the Family Arena, which is in St. Louis or St. Charles, Missouri, I guess. And this is the same place that the Frozen Four in 2017 happened.
Was this last year or 2 years ago?
No, 20. Okay, so the Frozen Four, of course, was 2017. And then the Mistletoe Show was in 2014.
Okay.
And, so yeah, I mean they call it the Family Arena for a reason. You might have like country stars there, like Taylor Swift in her early years played there, and and she was. I mean, I've heard she was always a bad live performer, but she played there. But yeah, that Mistletoe Show was fun. I mean, that was a good lineup of people. So. I went to see
Taylor Swift because I went to a wedding in Houston in October 2018, and one of my good friends, his wife's mother is like a Dallas Cowboys season ticket holder, right? So she has first dibs on like any events that happen at Cowboy Stadium, right? So she's like, it's Friday night, I'm in Dallas. They're like, hey, you want to go see a free Taylor Swift concert? I'm like, okay, sure. It's Friday night. I got nothing better to do with my life. Why not? I'm not a huge fan of Taylor Swift, but her music was kind of cool.
Yeah. No, I mean her music. I was always a fan of Taylor Swift for a while. I mean, and I just heard she was bad at live performances, but it's kind of funny. Like my ex-girlfriend from years ago, like she was a big fan of Taylor Swift, and we never actually talked about it until like the writing was on the wall that she was going to break up with me or whatever. But yeah, it was weird. Like I was a fan of the whole time, and she didn't know. And then, of course, like this was right before the song "We Are Never Getting Back Together" came out, like literally right before that. And I was in the gym, and I heard it was like, I don't know, a week or two after she broke up with me, and I was like, in the gym lifting weights, and then like all of a sudden the new Taylor Swift song comes on, and it's "We Are Never Getting Back Together," and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me! Like, first of all, we find out we're both fans of her, like at the end of the thing, and then like that song comes out, but that's pretty crazy timing, bro. But yeah, it's pretty funny.
But if you ever go to a Taylor Swift concert, it's I don't know how to describe it. It's a very surreal experience. Like if you look at so the average age demographic for a Taylor Swift concert ranges from like the age of 12 all the way to the age of 49. It's weird, man. Like, so
Okay.
I'm with my best friend, his wife, and his friend Micah, and we're all standing there, and like like my best friend's like wife's mother buys us a bunch of Taylor Swift t-shirts. I'm like, oh, all right, so we just look at a couple of creepy dudes wearing Taylor Swift t-shirts. It's just weird, man. The crowd, they're just strange. Like, because if you ever see her perform, like, she definitely wears a lot of risque outfits, and she definitely plays on her sexuality a lot. Like, a couple of hip thrusts here, a couple of butt slaps there. And I'm like, is this really appropriate for like 12-year-old fans to watch? Like, I mean, like, what are you trying to like encourage here? I mean, I'm not trying to be self-righteous. I'm not trying to be pious here, but it's just I don't know, man. I'm not a parent, but I don't know. It was just very weird watching 12-year-old girls like mimic her emotions and her actions.
Yeah. What year did you say this was again?
October 2018.
Okay, so yeah, this is
Cowboy Stadium.
So by this time, she was a pop star, pretty much, yeah. And yeah, I mean, especially if you're a pop star, that's just how it's gonna be, you know. When it's just what it is. And even like Paramore, like I'm a big fan of Paramore, right? I've always been a fan of them since their first album. And Hayley Williams, you know, not to be confused with the hockey player Hayley Williams, but you know, they have the same name.
No, I remember Hayley Williams. There were a couple of photos of her that she took of herself, like some certain compromised positions of herself, taking selfies of herself, like topless. Yeah. So I was like, what's going on? What's going on, Hayley? What are you doing?
Yeah, I've never seen that, nor do I care to. But actually, the last Paramore concert I went to, she was wearing like a shirt it was a white shirt that said "Pure Pleasure," and like she had those kind of like what was that? Those skanky leggings that was like they look like a fence. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know how to describe.
Mesh pants.
Oh, I didn't know they had a name. So
you don't like mesh pants? I like it. I think it's classic. It's a joke, by the way. I'm joking.
I don't know. It was like that with a T-shirt that said "Pure Pleasure," a white T-shirt. So I don't know. The concert was good though. I don't know. I got to see her. I got to be really close because it was first come, first serve. Like whoever gets there first, and it was in their hometown in Nashville, so that was cool. But yeah, I know Paramore concerts have the same demographic. Like there's really young girls there, and it's funny when they yell Paramore, Paramore. It just sounds exactly like if you're at a USA game and the little girls there, the youth hockey players. It just sounds like when they say USA, USA. I always like if I'm watching a stream of a USA Canada game and I hear that, I'm always going Paramore. It's very similar, so it's kind of funny how it works.
Okay, Brandon, I got one question for you. This is play on her T-shirt. Did you get pure pleasure from watching that concert?
Well, I'm a big fan of Paramore, so I enjoyed it. Yeah, I had that kind of pure pleasure. Like
I couldn't resist. I'm sorry, I had to ask.
Yeah. I don't know. I actually kind of did have this awkward feeling after I left. Like it was just like a weird experience. Like even weirder. It was actually weirder than the other Paramore experiences, but it was.
Oh man! All right.
I put in like hard new metal rock like on the way home as I was driving back because I drove back overnight. You know, I was just from Nashville, so. But yeah.
Wait, how long of a drive was it from Nashville back to St. Louis?
I think it's like 5.5 hours, which.
Well, it's not too bad.
Not too bad. It's not fun driving overnight, but still, it's.
Oh, that sucks. That sucks.
Anyway, now we got on another tangent about musicians, but here's another funny thing. So I wanted to throw in this fun fact about me. So the moment I became a really big fan of women's hockey, I stopped caring about pop stars. So like all your Taylor Swifts and all your Beyoncés, like I stopped caring about them. Cause I don't know, whatever void they filled was just filled by, watching women's hockey players work hard to grow the game and all that. So like if you had to ask me, like if you had to ask me, who do you think I would rather meet? You think I'd rather meet Beyonce or would I rather meet Blake Bolden in person? Like, take a wild guess.
Blake Bolden?
Yeah, of course, man. She would be easier to meet in person, of course, but Blake, actually, I did meet her in person because of that All-Star game we were at, right? Yeah, so we got – hold on a second, you froze. Okay, you're back.
Yeah, you met her in Nashville in February of 2019.
Yeah. And she was cool just in that few seconds because we got those autographs, right? And I had a Nicole Hensley jersey. So when I brought the jersey up to her, she's like, "Oh, is that a Nicole Hensley jersey?" I was like, "Oh man, she asked that question. That's cool." And what's funny is that, yeah.
Go ahead.
What's funny, yeah. So at Women's Worlds, Nicole Hensley, when I got her autograph there, I was wearing the Shy Dark jersey, and she also asked like, "Whose jersey is that?" So it was kind of like a chain. Like Nicole Hensley asked that, and then Blake Bolden asked that about a Nicole Hensley jersey. So next thing I got to do is buy a Blake Bolden jersey and see who asks about that jersey. I don't know. It's just funny. It was funny, but yeah, I stopped caring about pop stars altogether when I became a fan of women's hockey. So yeah.
Oh, man, you're flooding my head with wonderful memories, man. That Nashville All-Star festivities, like that was a fun time, man. Because like I remember Blake Bolin was right there at the autograph queue, and then right next to her was Shan Sabados. I mean, bear in mind, I never met Shan Sabados in person, so I've never known what she was like in person. I always knew that she was like this stud for like Team Canada hockey. Like she was their goaltender. Like she won 3 gold medals before 2018 happened, unfortunately for Canada. But moving on. So I'm standing there with Ray where we're kind of going down the line. I just see this skinny brunette with like, curly hair. I didn't think much of her. I was like, whatever. Yeah. And all of a sudden she just says, because she sees Ray wearing the Hillary Knight jersey, the Team USA jersey. She's like, boo, boo. Yeah. She comes up to me too because she sees my Team USA shirt ensconced underneath my sweater. She's like, you too, boo. I'm like, why are you booing me? I'm wearing a Team Canada shirt. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Right.
I'm like, Ray, do you know who that is? That's Shan Sabados, number 1 goaltender in the world. And I think that's when she started warming up. I'm like, I think that kind of inflated her ego when I said number 1 goaltender in the world. Like, arguably, I mean, she's up there with Nora Ratu. So that's my, not to go off the rails, but yeah, that was my fond memory of Nashville 2019. Yeah,
I've always seen her as like the down-to-earth person. Like she's, like you said, probably the number 1 goalie in the world, at least one of them. And like, but she always seemed like down-to-earth and like when I got to her at the autograph line. So my beer league, it's like a roller hockey beer league. We haven't been there in a while, but this one goalie friend I had there, I talked to people about women's hockey when I was there sometimes, and he actually became a big fan of Shannon Zabados. So like, I did him the favor of mentioning him to Shannon. Like I was like, oh yeah, my beer league goalie friend was like, he gets tired of those 2-on-1s, that my friends we always give up, and I got Shannon laughing about that. And then I told him like, hey man, I told Shannon about you at the autograph session. So yeah, that was funny. And then of course I saw Shannon again at the World Championships when I tried to get her and Marie-Philippe Poulain's autograph. That one, remember that one night where Marie-Philippe Poulain?
Were you successful? Yeah, they're sitting up in the rafters and we decided to sit next to them. Were you successful in their autographs?
Yeah, I was sitting there with Chloe and Mariona, and I looked up and I'm like, oh hey, there's a Marie, MPP, and Shannon. And so Marie-Philippe Poulain is a BU girl, so we can go off on this tangent. So yeah, I got their autographs, and then I after that I felt bad because I realized that Marie-Philippe Poulain wasn't looking too well. That was her first. She played in that game against Russia. It was her first game back, and then she got re-injured again by Olga Solsina. And I was like, oh shoot, she wasn't looking good at all. Like I shouldn't have got that. I shouldn't have pushed getting that autograph. But she was cool. She was nice about it, and she was walking with a limp and all that. And then I led all of you to them. I led you and Ray to them, and Chloe and Marion to them. And it's like I was like, oh shoot, I shouldn't have done that. But I don't know. It was probably all right. You guys kind of realized that she wasn't looking too good as well, and you didn't bother them too long. But yeah.
Yeah, I felt bad about asking MPP for a photo, but then I'm like, well, now that you explain it to me, that explains why she was kind of like not in the greatest of moods. But I said, well, I mean, I just wanted to take a photo with a fellow BU alum, and then that's when she started lightening up. I'm like, yeah, I graduated in 2006. Then she's like, oh, okay.
If you have those good like relatable, you have those good little thing. What do you call it? Like those good like commonalities, relatable aspects, then yeah, I always like try to bring one of those up or something because we're big fans, so we should be able to do that, just to get like a selfie or an autograph or whatever. I just have that up as it's a YouTube video, but I have it up as the background. So yeah, no, it was cool, but yeah, the next day, Marie-Philippe Poulain, like she was like walking around with a limp and stuff, but the next day I saw her. You know how they always, in between periods, they walked from wherever they were to the locker rooms, like, so I saw her, I like walked past her and I was like, oh, there she is. She was all stylish, with her glasses and whatever hairstyle she had. And we looked at each other and like, she smiled at me. So I was like, oh, okay, it's all cool. She smiled at me. So she's just a nice person. I think, that's all there is to it. But yeah, it was too bad she was injured for pretty much that whole tournament.
Yeah.
What else? So we've been talking about Boston college teams and pro teams, or Northeastern pro teams and college teams. So yeah, and then we went off on a lot of tangents, of course. Real quick, what do you think about the PWHPA region being in New Hampshire? So I guess me and Ray, what we talked about was like, maybe the rinks are just so booked up in Boston, and there also might be really expensive to rent out that they just decided, well, like New Hampshire is not only like there's more availability there for like decent locker rooms and all that, but also that it's a good middle ground area too. So like, what do you think about all that?
I think it makes sense, like you said, like a general availability. Also, I think maybe like in New Hampshire, their whole COVID-19 procedures, they're more lax than let's say how Massachusetts is being run. Like Massachusetts is very strict and stringent, so I can totally understand them, using New Hampshire as a viable option for like arenas and whatnot. I mean, it makes sense, from that standpoint.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, they just want those good locker rooms. I wonder if it's just going to be the same arena like that. What is that? Shoot. Let me look back at my notes, because Bill Flanagan, he actually coaches that team there. Let's see, the Cyclones in Hudson, New Hampshire. The Northern Cyclones. Yeah, he coaches that team, the men's team, and he started. We'll get to the summer league, but he started that elite women's summer hockey league. So I don't know. Maybe Bill Flanagan also He coached for some of the PWHPA events. So I think he actually coached Team Flanagan, his daughter's team. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that could, I would guess that'd be an arena that would come into play for the PWHPA. But I don't know. Yeah. It's cool. Like New Hampshire's only like an hour and 10 minutes away from Boston, right? So it's not too bad. I mean, it's a good spot. You would expect it to be in Boston off the top of your head, but New Hampshire makes sense. And we were just kind of wondering, like, since Buffalo and Tri-State, those two regions are being disbanded pretty much. So I don't know if a lot of those players are going to move just to play for New Hampshire, or if some are going to go to Toronto. I mean, we'll see about that. But New Hampshire is going to be a loaded region, and there's going to be a lot of competition and tryouts, and a lot of players not making that region, I would imagine. So we'll just see what happens with that. But yeah, so PWHP New Hampshire, we'll see what happens. It should be interesting. But yeah.
Hopefully there'll be another event in October. We'll see. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, if anything, like we talked about, like those. So the events like New Hampshire, Chicago, and Arizona, we call those like full events or main events. But then there was these events called PWHPA Live, or I called them versus events, and those would normally be like Team Lauren Gable versus some U18 team, or Team Gable versus Team Nurse, or Gigi Marvin was supposed to have that one event that one day in Worcester, I think, before it got canceled. It was the same day as the rivalry series game. But, so you might get some like PWHPA Live events or versus events in New Hampshire if there's a lot of players there. Maybe even like if New Hampshire is such a loaded region, they would do like, I didn't know you had the tattoo, bro. They would.
Oh, they.
Yeah. Maybe in that case, they'd have two New Hampshire teams facing each other just for fun, or scrimmages. I don't know. So yeah, we talked about. I think he froze for a second. Okay, so we talked about the PWHD New Hampshire. So that's a good option for the. So you got Boston Pride as far as pro hockey, Boston Pride. You got the PWHD New Hampshire, and then you got all the college teams. So let's talk about what we can do in the summer here. So going back to Bill Flanagan, he started. You can find all this information on the Women's Hockey Tribune website, by the way. But so he started this new thing called the Elite Women's Summer Hockey League, which kind of sounds like the Elite Women's 3-on-3 title from the All-Star game. But so yeah, you have the first game just happened this past Thursday, and I think they said it was supposed to be strange, but maybe there was technical difficulties and it wasn't. But yeah, what I love about this Elite Women's Summer Hockey League is, like, first of all, it's in the summer and there hasn't been hockey in forever, and also you have players from all like three avenues. You got players from the NCAA, players from the NWHL, and players from the PWHPA all in one spot. So, hey man, that's a lot of fun. So yeah, what do you think about that? I know I don't know if you're going to be able to make any games, like assuming they let fans back in at some point. I don't know if you'd be able to make any based on your work schedule, but like what yeah.
I think I should be able to obviously, like, I have like I'm currently on the Tuesday, Wednesday off schedule with working 3-11, but I can do swaps with my coworkers. Like, let's say they work my Saturday and I pay them back with another day so they don't have to work. So if it's on a Saturday or Sunday, I think I can manage a couple of swaps here and there. And then, like, obviously, like, these games are going to take place in the fall, right? Or late summer.
Yeah, it'll be, so the first game was this past Thursday, and then they're supposed to go on for weeks. You can look all this up on the either on their Twitter page or on their website. It's on the Women's Hockey Tribune website, and they have social media on Instagram and Twitter as well. I mean, so.
Yeah, I could definitely get a day off here and there, like as long as I could put in my name in the book, and like let's say hopefully nobody who has more seniority than me doesn't knock my name off the book on the time off books. I should be able to get a couple of days here and there. Thankfully I had a high score in my civil service score, so that's how they base seniority. So people who are in my same graduating class, they can't knock me off that. So here's to studying hard for your civil service scores.
Yeah, I heard that, man. So yeah, I mean, yeah, you try. I don't know what they're gonna let fans back in, but at least they'll have the streams. If anything, you can watch them after. We can watch them late at night after we get off our jobs. You know, I don't care what it is. I don't even care if I know the score beforehand. I just want to watch some hockey, man. And you know, I don't know if the NHL is gonna come back, like we kind of talked about before we started recording. Like we don't know if that's gonna come back, especially with the new COVID cases. Like who knows? But we know we're getting some women's hockey in the summer. Ain't that right? Mm-hmm. You know, it would just be like if there was an NHL lockout and you couldn't watch that, but you got to watch women's hockey. Or even this year, like if they actually go through with the summer NHL thing where they finish off the season and they're not playing in the fall, you would get women's hockey in the fall when you don't have men's hockey. And it's like, hey, man, that works out good for us. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think I just love that there's hockey, even if I can't be there. You know, I can watch it on YouTube, hopefully, or whatever. Watch it on this Xbox TV back here, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I guess I'll run off a list of players. So, like, this list is going to be growing, but the forwards are like Paige Voigt, Kelly Brown, Megan Myers, Danielle Doherty, Erica Dierico, who I never heard of before, like Megan Turner, Emily Field, Sammy Davis, Aaron Kickham, Olivia Finicherio, Abby Bolo, Courtney Turner, Sarah Sinning, Tony Ann Miano, Sharon Frankel, not to be confused with Aaron Frankel, I guess, and Kate Anise. So those are the forwards right there. And like right there, you already hear like a mix of PWHPA, NCAA, and NWHL players.
What's the name of this event? The Tri-State event you said?
It's called it's called the Elite Women's Summer.
Okay.
No, wait. Yeah, Elite Women's Summer Hockey League, EWSHL. And the Instagram and Twitter page that has been posting about it is called the Women's Hockey Tribune, and they have a website too that you can look all this stuff up on now. So yeah, man, it's good stuff. I mean, we'll see who else they add. They might add more national team players. Defenders, they have Maddie Trural or Truex, whatever you say that. Paige Capistrand, Maddie Crowley Cahill, Madison Cardaci, Callie Flanagan, Megan Keller, Caleb Barnes, Alexi Guay, Skylar Podby, and then there's Kim Tiburia, who I know is on the Whale, and then there's my Lindenwood girl, Carrie Atkinson, and then Claire Dudley. And then the goalies, as far as I know, are Jetta Ratcliffe, Katie Bird, Cassidy Salve, Jessica Strack, and Rose Piaka. And Cassidy Salve was like injured, or I don't know, there's some reason why she couldn't play. So, but yeah, she's that goalie that played at Ohio State and Clarkson, so you got a good list of names right there already. So let's see who they add over the summer. I mean, actually, you know, the teams were kind of incomplete. Like, there was only like 2 forward lines for each team, I thought. I think if I remember right. Yeah, I guess I had that right. I don't know. So yeah, if they keep adding players, then the more fun it's going to get, you know. If they keep adding other Boston, like, you know, whatever, Olympians or whatever. So that's a good thing to have. It's very exciting to have hockey in the summer. And yeah, man, I don't know, anything else you got to add to that? Because, like, I mean, it's all hype, bro. It's exciting.
That's all I got, man. I'm just happy that we got something coming, hopefully, tentatively.
All right, man. Well, cool. Yeah. So I guess that about wraps it up for that episode. We kind of went off on some interesting tangents there. So yeah, I mean, cool, man. Yeah. Hopefully hockey will start back up again. Hopefully we'll get all our college hockey games, NWHL, PWHPA. Hopefully all the international tournaments will go happen as accordingly planned. And yeah, man. Well, until the next time, bro.
All right. See you later, man. Take care. Be safe.
All right. You be safe, my man.
Bye.
Have a great day or a great night. Yeah.
Take care, man.
All right.